Hey, it's Josh with Swift Home Mortgage, and I want to talk to you today about 3 things that you should know when getting into the mortgage process. So when we look at a mortgage pre-approval or a new candidate, a new application for a mortgage, there's 3 big things that we're looking at: credit, income, and assets. That's the foundation to any pre-approval and any loan. Actually, anything out there, it's your credit, income, and assets. CIA is a good way to remember it. So those are the 3 things that we think you should know about when you're getting into this process, because that's what we're going to be talking to you about. So the first piece, credit. What does that mean? We're looking at your credit. Obviously, credit score, payment history, length of credit, how many accounts you have open, what your payment amounts are, derogatory credit, bankruptcies, foreclosures, short sales, student loans, all of that kind of stuff. Credit encapsulates all of that. And what you really need to know is, what can you control? You can control your credit scores. You can control your derogatory stuff. If you just filed a bankruptcy yesterday, then maybe that cherry conventional loan that's going to give you the absolute best rates is not going to be available to you tomorrow, because that's, you're not far enough away from that in the seasoning timelines on derogatory credit. So when we look at that, we want to make sure we understand what your payments are, and then we're going to divide that into your income, which brings us to the second piece, is your income. What that encapsulates is employment, length of employment, income, type of income, how much you make, what kind of income is it, commission, bonus, salary, hourly, seasonal, per diem. There's tons of different kinds of income that people can collect through paychecks or self-employment, 1099, different businesses. It's a full spectrum of ways people make money. So understanding your income is key. If you're hourly or salary and you get the same amount of money every week in your paycheck, it's a W-2 amount, that's as straightforward as it gets. 40 hours a week, annual salary, whatever the case is there. That's as easy as it gets. When it gets a little bit more complicated is, hey, I'm a server. I get, $2.14 per hour, and then I get tips. But half of those tips aren't reported. I only get so many tips on my paycheck, and that's on my W-2 at the end of the year. That right there is a harder number to come up with, especially for you being in your seat as the buyer, that you don't do this every day, you don't understand mortgage guidelines, and that's not part of what you do. That is what we do, and we're able to look at all of your income documents and say, this is the amount of money that we can give you as qualifying income to support the debts that you have on your credit report and the debts that you're going to incur on the new home. The third thing to be aware of or to know about in your home purchasing adventure or your mortgage qualification is going to be assets. And what I mean by assets is your bank accounts, retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, cash on hand, gifts from family, things of that nature. So when we talk about assets, what we're referring to is down payment, cash to close, closing costs, reserves that you keep in the bank after you close on the new home. Sometimes we need to show that you have 6 months reserves for each property that you own, that we need to make sure that you can, if something happens, that you can keep paying for those properties if there's a hiccup in your income. So that's not for everybody, but that is out there for some people. So when we talk about assets, we talk about verifying assets. Have you had this money for 60 days in your bank account? If it was a gift, did it come from family? Do we have a gift letter? Do we have a paper trail of that gift? If it was a cash deposit, can we source where that cash came from? It gets very forensic when we get into this asset verification. And quite honestly, that's some of the biggest stumbling blocks that we have in the loan process, is explaining why we need to dig into this, why this is a problem, why we can't use the $20,000 that you pulled from under your mattress and stuck into your bank account because we have no idea where it came from. So basically, to wrap all of this up, is if you have a good picture of your credit, you have decent credit to good credit, you know what your payments are, you have an idea of what your debt to income ratio is when you're looking at your income and your employment history, and you know where your money's coming from when it comes time to put 3%, 5%, 20% down on a new home. You know where that's coming from, and you know that it's legitimate, usable funds in the mortgage process. So those are the 3 things to look out for: credit, income, and assets. It's what we do. You learn those things and you can become a mortgage professional, because that's really what we spend our time doing. So if you have any questions about any of this, if you want us to look at your situation and tell you what your income will be on qualifying income and what kind of credit hurdles you might have, or asset hurdles, or how much money you're going to need to accomplish this, that's what we're here for. That's what we do every day. So call us, check us out online. Give us a call at 813-606-4255, or visit us online at swifthomemortgage.com. And I hope to talk to you about it soon. Take care.